Hey, welcome to Wait a Minute. My videos, my thoughts, and I'm sharing them with you. I'm going to back out of here and try not to hit anything. Snowbanks are really high, so we just gun it and pray to God we don't hit anything. So far that's working. I don't know. Maybe the rest of the winter. Could we be that lucky? I don't know. Probably should shovel down some of those snowbanks, but like that's going to happen. Anyway, I may have spoken on this before, so some of you may have heard part of this message before that I'm about to give. Yes, it's a message. It's cool, though. And if you heard it before, you've heard me talk about my arch enemy, ants. I'm so scared of ants. And I think I was, if I spoke on it before, it was a little bit different angle. So here we go. I was thinking about, this whole baloney that's going on with the everybody turning on each other and all the hate and everything that comes from the COVID crisis. And people are still just spewing hate, just like by the day, just spewing. It's like a big old garbage dump of hate everywhere you look. And that is, wow, it's discouraging. It gets on my nerves. It's a whole bunch of things. But more than anything, it's hurtful. It makes me sad because we were an amazing country. And I'm not saying we never had any problems, so don't even go, oh, it's not an amazing country. Bull crap. It's always been an amazing country. And so there's that. It's always been an amazing country, and people are good to each other. People help their neighbor, all that kind of stuff. Now it's people turn in their neighbor. People do damage to their neighbor's house, neighbor's business, whatever. Hate people, beat up people. A barrage of filthy things coming out of their mouth to people. And the enemy is winning. So, I was thinking about ants, which, normally I think about ants as in, I hate them, they're scary, I don't want them anywhere near me, I don't want to kill one, because then the rest of them come running, I don't like ants, just don't, it's scary. Don't make fun of me, because you guys are probably scared of spiders or some other thing I'm not scared of, okay, so nah. But ants are really, truly remarkable creatures, if you ever pay attention to them. Now, anybody that's heard me talk about ants before is going to be really surprised that I'm admiring them. But I am. Ants have so much. First of all, when they get attacked, if one gets hurt, it produces a scent, some kind of thing that it comes out of its body when it's smashed. They can even do it before they're smashed, just when they face the struggle, they can release this, whatever it is. And saying all that to say, when they're in trouble, they can call out to their buddies, and there's a lot of buddies. And when they're in trouble, they're not alone. They might be alone, as in I mashed one and it's dead, but their buddies come, and they're not weak. There's thousands of ants for every one ant you see, and that's what scares me. It's not that one ant all by himself is scary, although it can be. My brother and my friend Brian will tell you this story as if it's funny. And if you heard my stories before, you probably heard this one. We had an ant infestation at work and the store where I worked, and the ants were just pouring out of this thing we brought in from outside, and thousands and thousands and thousands of ants that you could see, let alone they were still coming out of this thing. So I didn't know how many were still in there, and I'm like, I am leaving. No way am I staying here with all those ants. I'm out of here. Well, so like the rest of until they got back from wherever they were at, so they could take over the store, I sat up on my stool and didn't get down, walk around, didn't touch nothing, whatever. But this ant came up on the counter next to me, and first of all, it scared the pee out of me because I didn't know he was there. But this little ant, okay, just an ant, he just, I started to push my finger down on him, and just before I got to him, he raised up with his front legs like that, like he was going to get me. He saw this massive thing about to squash him, and he raised up, and I'm not backing down. I am the storm, that kind of thing. He was tough. He's dead now, but he was tough. I have to admire him for that. And moment of silence. Okay, and so ants are tough, and they don't back down for nothing. I mean, like, holy cow. You can spray them with water. You can set them on fire. I saw them pouring out of a log once in a campfire, and they're just pouring out of that log into the fire, into the fire, into the fire. Because they're if they can make a way, they'll climb over the bodies of the dead ones to get where they're going. They work together, and the front ones they don't even slow down. They run right into the danger so that the other ones can live. You know what I mean? And that's bizarre. That's loyalty. That's like tight knit, and it's cool. It's cool. So, I think about that, and instead of thinking about, ooh, I can't stand ants, you know what? When I mashed that buddy, that little dude, thousands of ants noticed. And then they kind of swarm. Fire ants are really amazing at that. You start hurting some ants, and the rest of them come pouring in, and they're poisonous, and they can kill. A whole bunch of them can kill a human really easy. Don't know how many it takes to do that, but it has been done, does happen, and lots of ouch. But anyway, I said all that to say this. In our lives lately as human beings, we have just become awful. I mean, like, I'm not speaking for everybody, because not everybody has done this, I don't think I have. But there's just so much hate and so much whatever. Well, we talked about hate before, but this is a little different angle on that, as in, when was the last time you stuck up for somebody that is just a human being that you don't necessarily know, but you might, but you actually stood up for them? You actually spoke up in a situation where there was a problem. You know, when did you do that last? I want to know. Because to myself, I've done it some recently, but it's not like it's. I don't think it's been anybody that was just like a total stranger. But my point is, there has been times when I actually have done it. There's been times when some other people have done it. You know, once in a while, a little bit here or there. But still, in all, there's so many people right now that have abandoned their brother and their sister. They've abandoned society. They've abandoned community and neighborhood. And that's sad, because it used to be tight, you know. And even a year ago, it was tight. And it wasn't maybe as tight as it had been at certain times, like, let's try this again. 9/11 was a time where everybody banded together, and it was cool. I mean, if you were an adult at that point and, you know, remember, it was pretty cool. I mean, a bad situation, obviously, it was horrible, it was scary and awful, but people banded together. I mean, even in our community, people banded together to hop on planes and buses and whatever else. There was a bunch of buses from here that went to New York. It was amazing. There's so many people flooded in to help with the rescue and all the other stuff, cleanup. It was cool, because the signal went out, and they heard it, they smelled it, they were there. They flooded in to help their neighbor that they don't even know. But they're humans, and they knew that they were in trouble, so they went. Well, here's the deal, guys. You can either sit there and hate people, or sit there and avoid people, or whatever, or you can get back into real life. Real life is harsh, that's true. People can hurt you, that's true too. I'm not saying, you know, hey, go out there and intentionally put yourself in bad harm's way or whatever. But sometimes it takes harm's way. Sometimes it does. I mean, sometimes you see something and it's a need and it's not safe. And I don't mean necessarily it's super dangerous, it's just not safe. It can hurt your feelings, it can hurt your pride, it can hurt your pocketbook, whatever. But guys, really, even if you, I mean, let's say you don't understand loving people you don't know. Even if it's not out of love, just out of common decency and courtesy, think about your fellow man. Think, those little ants, man, those things will stand up to anything to protect their bro. They will. And they'll run right into the fire to save the rest of them. When was the last time anybody felt like the warrior that would run into the fire to protect their neighbors? Let's think about that, okay? Let's try to love people, at least be courteous, at least have common courtesy to them, and yeah. Love you guys, bye.